Welcome to the SharkPrenuer podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Green. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Green is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview SharkPreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Green. With me, as always, is the inventor of the infomercial and the original shark on Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington. Kevin, thank you so much for being with us.
Good to be here. You bet, Seth. Let's have a great day today.
Awesome. Today, our very special guest is Brad Sultan of Kids Bright Eyes, which is founded on quality eyewear at affordable prices. They have grown a very special business that has helped families around the world. Brad, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. And on behalf of myself, and this business wouldn't be here without my little girl, Ella. I appreciate you guys having me on today.
Well, tell us about that. Tell us how Ella inspired it and how it got started.
I've been in the optical industry for about 5 years prior to my daughter being born, through the challenges, of course, of having a child. Little Ella decided to finally make her entrance into the world on September 10th. And just a few days after she was born, being that I've been in the optical field, I always have a knack for looking at eyes. And my wife and I noticed just something wasn't right with her eye. And so 3 days after she was born, we noticed a little white glow in her eye. And that's not normal. There wasn't a reflex when pictures were taken. And she had a small little squint to her left eye. So after we left the hospital, we made some phone calls, and with the help of some of the doctors that I knew in the area of North Carolina, we were able to get into Duke Ophthalmology, where we were introduced to Dr. Inyeti, one of the best doctors in the world for children with conditions with their eyes. And my daughter was diagnosed with a condition called PHPV, which is primary hyperplastic PHPV. See, I'm like nervous right now. I'm on here.
It's easy for you to say.
PHPV, she was diagnosed with, which is where the vitreous never develops while the baby's in utero. And so, to nobody's fault, millions of kids around the world are born with eye conditions. But to help save her eye and give her eye vision, she went to surgery when she was about 6 weeks old. And so the surgery started out with trying to remove the cataract that was on her eye. And what the doctor ended up seeing, that her eye had so much scar tissue and damage that her eye never physically developed. So while they were able to take off part of the cataract in surgery, they weren't able to fully remove it. And they also had to put 2 little pinholes in her eye to help the eye breathe. And so they didn't know if she was going to be able to have any success seeing out of her left eye. She also was born with microphthalmia, which is where the eye is a little bit smaller than the other eye. And 2 weeks later, right before Thanksgiving, she had a second surgery because her pressures in her eye were not where they should be.
So you went through all of that, and you were already in the optical world. How did that inspire, how did that take you to the evolution of the business you've got now?
Well, I almost felt like, to my wife and myself, it was a blessing that it happened. Just because I'm in the optical field and I knew a lot of terms that the doctor was saying to us. What's important is that we knew that she was going to need protective eyewear, even though she wasn't going to be able to see out of that eye. And when we were faced with not only the expensive costs through surgeries, the last thing we wanted to do is look at the fortune that glasses were going to cost. And so, being in the field, I knew that I had to do something and make a difference. And so we started working with some manufacturing companies overseas, and we started to come up with a line that was not only appealing, but fun, but fashionable and exciting, that kids would want to wear, that parents would want to put on their child, and offer a quality product at affordable pricing. Everything that we do now is backed by a 1-year warranty on all of our frames. There's a lot of competitors in the field that we work with. And the last thing we want to do is to be able to wholesale it or sell it at a retail point where doctors or ourselves would not be able to sell it to doctors' offices, and then they have to turn around and mark it up. We want to be able to bring it at affordable pricing so everybody can enjoy our eyewear.
Great. Hey, Brad, so is your daughter's eyesight intact, or did anything bad end up occurring there?
She's completely blind out of her left eye.
Yeah.
She wears like a +2 to magnify the one side to make her eye look normal.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I will tell you that my daughter is entering kindergarten next year. There's nothing that stops her from doing anything. It's a blessing. She's reading on a 3rd grade level, and she's driving every day because she knows that daddy and mommy tell her you will do it and you can do it. And she's had that attitude from birth. It's a blessing to see that her eyes have really compensated for not having vision in that one eye.
Right.
And it's not bilateral. It's just the one eye, and she doesn't know different.
Right.
And so it is a blessing.
That's great that she's had the great mental ability to tackle what could be debilitating for many others.
Sure.
So congratulations on that. And that's, I understand the inspiration it makes total sense. I have a granddaughter, 18 months old now, and she's got a lazy eye. So she's been wearing certain kinds of corrective glasses, and that's, I don't know how all of that, works and everything, but there's obviously, there's things that can be done with kids at an early age, maybe to make some things move in the right direction. Do you guys get involved in that end of the business also, or?
We do.
Yeah, you do? Okay.
So one of the things that's important to know is that a lot of kids, you don't realize the magnitude of how many kids are born with eye conditions until you're in that doctor's office.
Right.
And without education, you don't know where to turn. And unfortunately, unless you physically see something different in that child's eye, the kid can't communicate to you because he doesn't know to tell mommy, I can't see. It may be signs looking really close to the monitor.
Yeah.
It might be getting fatigued too early in the day, and it's not the child's fault. His eyes are just tired. And so some kids with lazy eyes have to patch to strengthen one eye so their other eye overcompensates. So they patch the good eye so the other eye starts working harder.
Right.
And we've created eye patches. We've created some eye patches that slide over the glasses. And
right. I've seen my granddaughter with an eye patch too. That's interesting.
So what's tough is that kids have to pull a sticky patch off their eye, and they're screaming and crying because the stickiness hurts. We have an eye patch that simply slides over the glasses, gives full occlusion with a blackout fabric on the backside. What we'll do is we put an organic felt material on the front and a really cute applique.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is we'll have a felt material on the front. You can decorate it any way you want. And then we will put a really cute patch on the front. So it's fun and exciting because the kids aren't screaming and crying anymore when they when they put on a patch. So
now I'm a little familiar with the eyeglass business. I've had some meetings with the Luxottica company. We have a distribution deal with Luxottica. They're out of Italy. I went to the Luxottica annual conference recently. They're a $50 billion company. I'm sure you've heard of those guys, haven't you? Luxottica. They're like the 1,000-pound gorilla. They own Sunglass Hut and Pearl Vision, and many of the brands in Sunglass Hut, right? So do you buy from them? Are they a competitor of yours, or how do you compete against the big guys?
Well, let me tell you, in the 5 years that I've been running Kids Bright Eyes, I've went from big box retailers to private practices to working with Transitions of America, who was recently bought out by Essilor. To learn the business, in April of 2017, I decided to quit altogether and run Kids Bright Eyes full time. We're growing at around a 10% rate each year. Our repeat customers around 39%. We have about 5 different revenue streams that we run with, anywhere from Amazon to eBay, direct to private practice, direct retailer customers to us, for practices that aren't in the area.
Yeah.
I now attend trade shows, which is Vision Expo West out in Las Vegas in September. I'll be in Vision Expo East in New York, which is a pretty expensive, event for us, but it's worth it to me to grow the business the way I want to grow the business. And with the rate that we keep accelerating, it's putting a meaning back to what I'm doing is really working.
Right.
Our customer, our direct competitor is not Luxottica, as they don't produce a frame like I have. Our direct competitors, companies like Miraflex. Clear Vision has a product out there named Dilly Dally, and it's all a very similar product. Miraflex is a brand that is 100% single molded frame, similar to something like this or this. The difference between our competitor and us is we have a coil hinge out here on the side that allows our frames to completely bend. However,
Nice.
our product doesn't bow out at the hinge like Miraflex does, or have a rubber band that goes around the frame at night to keep the frame in adjustment.
My daughter who also has a lazy eye, is brutal on her glasses. They constantly need to get adjusted. We should get those.
Yeah.
Our frames are adjustment free. They will snap right back into the position that they were. They don't lose their flexibility. And we don't have a strap that pushes in. We have a really unique strap that slides in here and clips in. We want to make sure that our straps are nice and secure and can't just pop out.
Right.
And then you've got another product that goes on the end, right? Another product that keeps the glasses in place that I see in the background.
Absolutely. And those are our stay puts. So, a lot of kids have sensory issues and don't like glasses that have a strap connected to the back of their head. So we have stay puts here that simply slide onto the glasses, and they'll stretch about 14 millimeters. They're completely silicone, and they'll slide on the back of the glasses to prevent them from slipping. They do not have to touch the back of the ear to be completely effective, but they could sit 1 millimeter to 2 millimeters back. And when they're on the child's face, I know these are really small on me, but I just want to make a point to you. Well, it's not going to work because I can't see the back, but when they're on the child's face, he can pull them any which direction he wants. They're not going to slide off.
Right.
I wear them on my glasses in the summer when I'm doing yard workouts. So they're a one size fits all. They come in black, they come in clear, they come in blue, and they come in pink. But my wife's dad, he does trap shooting. He's out there in the extreme heat or in the winter, and he's got to make sure that he has precise vision. I've used them for golfing. We used them in the swimming pool with my daughter. It's an amazing product, and it's really changed, lives around the world. Yeah.
So do you, in terms of your business model of getting new customers, are you using digital, or how do you, do you have, are you retail, wholesale, through internet? Where's your business model focused?
That's a great question. So our vision is obviously to reach everybody and anybody. I can tell you when we first started, we weren't in private practice like we are today. We have a presence in about 37 states. As we continue to grow, we're seeing a increase in private practice and a decrease in retail. And we're trying to reach markets that we were reaching markets that were in small pockets around the U.S. that other major competitors weren't reaching out to those areas. Since we've now done the trade show, we're hitting larger markets in L.A. and Sacramento, and we're picking up accounts as we come across. This past year, as I went full time with Kids Bright Eyes, I brought on 2 sales reps that were starting to get the word out there. We're growing the business through social media. We have about almost 4,700 followers on Facebook, which to me is a blessing. It's doing Facebook marketing and advertising. We're doing, we've done fax blasting in the past, and we do mass email marketing as well.
Yeah. The business good, growing at 10% a year. That's fantastic. So what's the future? Are there any openings for you that you see out there in the marketplace?
Yeah, so when Kevin Harrington comes on board with Kids Bright Eyes, no, I'm just kidding. No, the future's bright. Every day is a good day. We wake up. We've been averaging about 5 to 7 new accounts a week. We have another line that also has a 180 flex hinge on it that when the kid graduates, they continue to wear our products. So it's not a one-stop shop with just our flexible frames.
Where
every day
are you based?
out of Maryland. We actually used to be based in Tampa, in Brandon. And so my wife wanted to get closer to home, to be closer to family. And so we picked up the business and relocated.
Right.
We're out of Hagerstown. But every day we're continuing to grow, and I'm finding ways to continue to grow the business. I think one of my biggest challenges for 2018 is really doing search engine optimization. I think that if I can figure a way to mastermind that, I will grow quicker because my name will pop up faster in search engines.
We know a few people who could help you with that.
Yeah, that's what I mean, Seth. That's right down your alley. So, it's a great, situation to be able to focus, Brad, in that arena, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I was also thinking with your eyewear cleaning device that you were showcasing at the last mastermind meeting,
Right.
there might be some eyewear synergy in terms of, like he mentioned, Luxottica is not a competitor, but what if he could provide them one-stop entry into that marketplace, something like that?
Right. Yeah, that's how I got. It was funny because I was at the Vision West trade show when the CEO of Luxottica USA came by the booth, and we started talking, and then we were showing them the product that we were involved. It's an eyeglass cleaning product, and then they invited us to come down to their annual conference, and now it's just, I mean, we've taken that product to 5,000 a day, then to 10,000 a day pieces of sales, up to 15,000 during December. It was a really hot item at Christmas, and now it's backed off a little bit since, but it was very powerful. And by the way, all of that was done via digital. So highly recommend you guys check to see how you can tune into the digital side, Brad. It's very powerful, and that's what Seth does. But it's how the market that you're in is huge. I mean, what percentage of kids, or how many pair of kids' glasses are sold on an annual basis? It's got to be tens of millions, right?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the exact amount that kids' glasses are sold, and unfortunately, a lot of it is, underprivileged kids that go through the system that never even have the opportunity to get quality eyewear, and that's what we're about. I feel like when we offer a product at a price point that could not only go to private pay but through insurance, because the wholesale price is so low, it can be offered to everybody. I think when you really come into this market and you offer a product at a wholesale rate that not everybody can get, it limits your product to a certain customer base, and that's not where we're about. At our wholesale rate, even at our self-pay rate, it's really a product that anybody could purchase.
Now, since you mentioned the whole, that philosophy, which is amazing, have you thought about it all, about pricing in like a Tom Shoes model type of like buy one, get one type of buy one, give one, where we pay regular price and then another pair goes to someone who can't afford it?
It's a great question. I can tell you in the past month, I've reached out to one of the largest Down syndrome organizations, where we've offered to give them a coupon code for 10% off advertising us on their website, and we would match the 10% that saves the customer and donate it back to the Down syndrome organization. There's a few organizations that I work with locally that we do a lot of giveaways, a lot of frames just to give away. Somebody comes to me in need, I help them out. We've done prescriptions as high as a +30. So I don't know if you know how thick that is, but with our technology and with the labs that we work with around the US, it really produces an amazing product. We do what we have to do to make a kid see, and our vision going forward each and every day is to educate eye health and to continue to to put eyewear on everybody that needs corrective vision.
Fantastic. So, I think what we try to do is through the listeners that we have, get the exposure for any needs that you might have. So if for anyone listening right now, number one, it sounded like maybe some digital connections, although you got Seth on the line here that can help out there also. But, are you looking for any other partnerships, affiliations, financing requirements, et cetera, that we could just put out to our community here and their listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. I discussed it with my wife, who is a true business partner of mine. And I would love to further our business and to continue to grow it at a fantastic rate. Obviously, capital investment and choosing the right partner to help us grow, to get into the right channels, whether it's, licensing something or reaching some major players in the optical field. I'd love to see our product on every optical shelf out there. We're at kidsbrighteyes.com. We're on Facebook with Kids Bright Eyes, and we can always be reached at 443-639-5907.
Awesome. Well, we greatly appreciate your time. Amazing, inspiring story, and an incredible mission that you're on. And obviously, we hope that we can help in some small way with that. Brad, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great meeting you, Kevin.
I'm going to talk to my son and hook you guys up, because I got to make sure that my granddaughter is getting the best of the best. So after talking to you, I think you are the best of the best, and I appreciate all the good stuff we talked about today.
Thank you so much. I look forward to working with you guys.
You too. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks,
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to this special productivity series of the Direct Response Marketing Podcast. I've interviewed hundreds of the most successful entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and CEOs all over the world, and I want to share with you one of the biggest ways I've discovered to triple your productivity that I've learned from these amazing people. Even better, I'll pay you $500 to test drive it. Just go to takethe500challenge.com. That's www.takethe500challenge.com to learn more. Thanks so much for listening.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.